And we are back. Welcome to another episode of the House Husband Diaries. As always, I am your host, Carter C. And today we are on themes in the thrill of the chase. Once again, today's theme, smile / grin. Is a grin similar to a smile? Would it be the same or is it similar? I think they're the same. I just think there's different words that Forrest uses and that we all can use to mean the same thing. So I'm not sure if there's a third word, if there's another synonym to smile and grin that I have not looked up, that I didn't research in the thrill of the chase. But these two appear, a dozen or so times. So without further ado, the theme of smiling and grinning in the thrill of the chase. All right, let's start on page 4, the preface. Last sentence of the first paragraph. I read this in the dreams video, the dreams theme. Nevertheless, the story about my treasure chest is true, and if it doesn't stir your spirit, then I hope at least it brings a smile in one of your dreams. And then you go down 2 paragraphs. Varied are the many roads I've traveled to reach my 80 years, and not all have been paved with smiles and accolades. So now we're talking about the many varied roads, paving them with smiles. Anybody remember a road that wasn't paved very well in West Yellowstone? I don't know. I was thinking while I was doing all these videos, and I don't even know if I've done research for videos that haven't come out yet, or if all the ones that I'm going to mention, but I was thinking, I wonder if there's a pothole, well, a dug hole, not very deep, beneath a tree in a field of grass. And he just kind of dropped the treasure chest in it. Like not a deep hole, like a 6-inch hole, like an 8-inch hole, something where you can still see it and is wide enough to, where it wouldn't necessarily fill up. And then it just fills with water because it's sort of, in the bottom of a canyon where the field is flatter than around. So it naturally would be in water. That's how he knows it's wet. But it would only be in a few inches of water as opposed to, in a river, in a rushing river. It's just in a pothole. And he sits behind a tree and he laughs because everybody's looking in all these places and it's just in a pothole, covered mostly with water. And it'd be dirty. It'd be hard to see. I don't know. Have you ever thought of that? That thought made me cringe. Because I'd never find that, a pothole about under a tree in a field of grass somewhere in the Rocky Mountains. Ooh. Sometimes my imagination scares me. I don't know. All right, page 9. Where are we? Down at the bottom. The Girl at Borders. Chapter, Important Literature. As I say in most of my videos, I'm reading from the 11th edition, 11th printing of The Thrill of the Chase. About halfway down that last paragraph. Anyway, when she finished sipping, she gave me a nice smile that made me feel better and asked me to please follow her as she regaled me with the reasons why we are so lucky to have great books in our lives. I don't know. Right before it says, in her coffee cup all but covered her face. I thought maybe she was trying to hide, and then she smiled. Is there something there? Because then he says, I knew I didn't need to listen to, I don't have to, but I listened to her anyway. And then she took me to the exact spot. I don't know. That's a whole, number of sentences that have me questioning, have me thinking, but I can't pinpoint where warm water's halt out of that unless it's coffee. Where warm water's halt, they get through the coffee grounds or grinds into the bottom, into the coffee pot. That's where it is. It's in coffee. I need more coffee. All right. Page 12. Talking about being in line. He strolled over to the checkout guy halfway down, and he said it, and he got all embarrassed or whatever. He says, some women were sniffering, and others were just grinning. It was all so rude that I just looked away. That taught them. I think that's more of like a reference to Catcher in the Rye. I haven't read Catcher in the Rye since high school, so that was 20 plus years ago. But I think somebody said that they read Catcher in the Rye, and he kind of copies the way that J.D. Salinger wrote Catcher in the Rye here. Like it's from that first person, childish point of view, kind of crazy thought process. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. Somebody let me know in the comments if you've read Catcher in the Rye, but I think he's just mimicking that. I don't think there's anything there. Maybe there is. But I'm going to go with nope. Page 53, My Brother Being Skippy. Talking about landing on the lake, Lake Hebgen, with the plane. Everybody was bewildered, whatever. His big grin told us nothing, but also everything. What does that mean? I think if you find a chest, your big grin is going to tell people everything. But unless they're a searcher as well, then it's going to tell you nothing. You're going to be like, man, that person, that guy or girl is like really happy today. They're very grinny. It's going to tell you everything, but it's going to tell you nothing. I don't know if a grin is telling you anything in the thrill of the chase. Next mention, page 65, Buffalo Cowboys. I need to read this story more and do a deeper. I keep coming to it, but it's just, I don't know, it's stuck in the middle of the book or close to the middle of the book, and it's by that time my brain just kind of shuts off, and then I kind of just forget about some of those stories, and then like right before My War for Me, and then once I get to My War for Me, my brain kind of re-energizes, like, oh, this is an important chapter, and then I kind of make it through that, and then, I don't know. Anybody else have ADD? I think I do. You should watch that video if you want to laugh, and I don't know if you like to laugh. Maybe you're very serious. Okay, bottom of one paragraph, somewhere. Where are we? Bottom of the second paragraph. Skippy and Donnie were in the front seat grinning. I sat on a sofa pad in the back and held on to the car frame, wondering what we were going to do next. And mind you, I forgot this in my theme of trees. And somebody was nice enough to comment, and I realized I read this after I shot the video on trees. But right before this, in this same, right before this is only one other paragraph before it. We found it about 7 miles west of town in a large sagebrush flat that had stands of pine trees everywhere. Flat, a field? I should have added flat to running across fields. Pine trees everywhere. And then they said, after a quick vote, they decided that I would be the one to catch the buffalo. So after tying one end of the rope securely to the front axle of the car, started my stalk. Big buffalo bulls have no enemies, so it was easy to slip up behind a tree, and throw a loop. Slipping up behind a tree. There's a field again. I don't know. Are y'all seeing these themes too? Are y'all seeing what I'm seeing, or am I just crazy? I feel like I'm getting some pretty positive feedback. More and more people, the more I do, and there's people that are saying, some of that's been sticking out to me as well, so thanks. Thanks for making me feel like I'm not as crazy as sometimes I think I am. All right, page 94. Smile and grin, smile and grin. Forgive a sinner and smile at a homely girl. That's right. Does anybody have anything for what that could mean? Or do you think that's like, what do you think that grade marker is? Should probably just start doing some what do you thinks. Maybe that just needs to be live shows. What do you think? I don't know. I keep talking about what I'm thinking. And few people are commenting and stuff. More and more people are commenting. But, I like to know what you think. What do you think about those things? Then you go to page 103, and he's just quoting the stone marker again. It says, and smile at a homely girl. And then lower down, he says, let's see. It seemed, or just like 2 sentences down, it seems obvious to me now that we are all temporary statements, like a cut bouquet on the living room table to make brief comments in passing and maybe cause a smile. Then go on to make room for others who will play their parts. Thank you, Mr. Shakespeare. Thank you, Mr. Fenn. Hopefully these videos cause a brief smile, and then I'll go on to let other people play a part, right? And the chest will still be there somewhere in the Rocky Mountains north of Santa Fe. All right, 4 more instances of smiling and grinning. Page 115, Tea with Olga. Right there at the bottom of that first paragraph, close to the bottom, when I offered to move her into a condo and pay all of her housing expenses forever, if she would trade me her little casita, she just smiled. And then they laughed and then drank red tea. A lot of people are focusing on the tea colors, but I don't know what you do with the tea colors. So, I don't know. Maybe it is something to do with colors. Maybe not. Next page, 116. She was fearful of flying and said she would never undertake such an outrageous adventure. I explained that no one should ever fear crashing because it is only the last inch that counted. That brought a smile, but not one of approval. I hear you, Olga. I am not a big fan of flying myself. Getting ready to do it and not excited about it, but that is the price you pay for traveling and going on adventures. Got to do some things you don't like so much. All right, page 125. Second to last mention of smiling and grinning. I love this. I love this one. And when my tackle box is closed at last and the caddis hatch is gone, I will rest through all of time and space, pillowed down and scented in, with a smile that comes from remembering the special things that brought me to that final place, one of which was knowing Peggy was there, somewhere, waiting for me. Sent it in, pillowed down. I don't know. I got nothing. Last mention, page 146. Smiles mentioned twice. I don't think there's anything here. He talks about walking down the street with his father. He gave him a few spankings in junior high school. He would ask, well, did you deserve the spankings? The man would grin. They would, say, well, good. It looks like you've become a good guy, and they just, they'd shake hands and smile. I don't think there's anything there. It's just kind of like a story. But I'm interested to hear what you think about him smiling, where he is, knowing, that Peggy was there for him. Do you think he's talking about his wife? Do you think he's talking about, indulgence? He's being subtle? You think there's something else there? Hope you didn't hear that. Excuse me. I don't know. You tell me what you think. I keep putting these out. I love the feedback that I'm getting, but it's super fun for me. So I've got themes. They'll keep coming. I'm having a great time. And thanks so much for watching this episode of the House Husband Diaries. Like, subscribe, share with your friends, your searchers, people, share with people that aren't your friends. Let's get those subscriptions up and for no other reason other than because it's, it makes me feel good about myself. and the house husband needs sometimes just needs something to make you feel better. All right, you guys have a good day. Thanks so much for watching.